right into today's information. So, today we're going to talk to you all about how to lower any car payment right now. Okay. So, if you're tired of your car payment, you're looking for ways to lower it, we're going to talk about that in this video. Okay. Let's get started. For those who don't know, my name is Calvin Russell. I am a certified FICO professional and licensed real estate agent. I help people, lower their car payments, increase their credit scores, and qualify for homeownership nationwide. Okay. If you guys want to download my free credit guide, you can scan the QR code or text free to the number that's on your screen. Okay. So, the first thing first, the first way that you can lower your car payment right now is to refinance your auto loan or lease. Okay. Yes, you heard that correctly. You can refinance a lease. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Okay. So, number one, what is refinancing? Refinancing means that you take your current loan and get new terms. So I've heard people say, well, Calvin, doesn't that mean I'm starting the loan over? Oh, yes and no. So let me break down what that means. Yes, you're starting a loan over because it is a brand new loan. But just because you signed your name to, let's say, a 6 year term, and let's say, for example, you signed your name for a 6 year term, 2 years have gone by, and you now have 4 years left on that term, right? That doesn't mean that you have to go back to 6 years. Okay. You can refinance, get a better interest rate, and still keep that 4 year term. So, does that make sense? Again, it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to start it over to 6 years. Now, can you also take it back to 6 years? You most definitely can. But some people, they say, well, I don't want to start the loan over and things of that sort. Again, you can most definitely keep the same term. Okay. And we're going to talk about when is the best time to do a refinance here in a little bit. Okay. So now, next, you're going to need a minimum credit score of at least about a 620. Okay. A 620 is going to do it. Um, Usually, when people are talking about what credit scores they need, don't get me wrong, the higher the score, the easier it's going to be. But the lowest score that I've seen be approved, where these banks will approve you, is typically at 620. Okay. Now, keep in mind, though, you get better terms again if your score is higher. The higher your credit score, the better your terms are going to be. Things like, what's the interest rate going to be? What's the term options? Okay. So that's what's going to matter there. Now, some banks like Capital One, they will let you refinance on a vehicle up to 10 years, 10 years old. Okay. So that means, and right now in 2026, if you have a 2016, they will refinance that vehicle. A lot of banks and financial institutions, the rule used to be 7 years, 8 years. Now, many of them are starting to play around with different time frames. Okay. So not only do you have to qualify, but your car, it must qualify as well. It has to have a certain amount of mileage as well too. Most of the time, they want cars under 120,000 miles. Some people want cars under 80,000 miles. So it really just depends. You'll find out, and I got some options for you too. So stick around. Some banks will refinance a lease. Okay, I'm going to show you what bank does that, which means if you're in a current lease right now, and for whatever reason, you now want to lower that car payment, you can refinance a lease. Okay. So a lot of people don't know that. And I'm going to let you know what other options you have if you have a lease in general. Okay. Now, most banks will not refinance an open auto loan with the same bank that you have the open auto loan with. Let me give you an example. If you have an auto loan right now, that's an open auto loan is any any auto loan that you are paying on right now. That's considered open, obviously. If it's closed, you're not paying it. So if you, let's say, for example, you have an open auto loan with Chase Bank, they're not going to refinance that. Now, why do banks do that? Banks and credit unions do this by choice, mainly because they already have your agreement that you're going to pay a higher amount per month and already have you locked in at a higher interest rate. Why would I want to lower your monthly payment? That's how a lot of banks think, and credit unions too, some. Now, there are, though, more credit unions than banks that will allow you to refinance with them, even if they have the open auto loan with them. So keep that in mind. So for many of you who are saying, man, I'm tired of my car payment, this is the number one way to lower it, is refinancing. Okay, let's continue on. Now, next, by the way, oh yeah, that's what I want to show you all. This is a refinance option here that I strongly recommend. There's a company called Upstart, and here I'm going to put the link inside the chat here so you guys can go that route. But either way, I'm going to show you all some other options as well too. There's plenty of options that you all can go with, but I do recommend going with Upstart. Upstart does personal loans up to, I think they just went up to 75,000 as well too. So this is another option here. Okay. All right. All right. So, but you can get a personalized loan rate in minutes. It's a soft pull. It does not affect your score. And you can get terms from 24 months all the way up to 84 months. You can scan the QR code or click that link I put inside the chat to learn more about them. Okay. Now, next is going to be additional refinance options. These are all soft pulls except for your bank and your credit union. Okay. So you can go with Capital One Auto Refinance. I talked about Capital One the other day. Autopay.com. Now, Autopay is amazing because they refinance leases. Okay. So you could be in an open lease and it may be year one, year two, whatever. They can refinance that lease. Again, the numbers got to make sense. Then you have Ally Auto Loan Refinance, Lending Club Auto Refinance. A lot of these fintech banks are starting to pop up to do these refinances. Okay. Now, the next option is number 2, trading in your vehicle. Trading in your vehicle is another way to lower your monthly payment. A lot of people don't know this. Okay. You can easily go from a bigger car to a smaller car, a newer car to an older car. Also, too, you could just be, you may just be in a better position now than what you were when you first got the original car loan. Okay. Trading in your vehicle gives you a new loan with new terms, but the math has to work. The math has to work. Okay. So obviously you don't want to go from, I mean, you can do whatever you want to do. But again, that's the whole purpose of doing is to lower what I need to pay for the car. A good time to trade in the vehicle can be around about 50% of the term. Okay. 50% of the term. So what does that mean? For example, if you started with a 6-year loan, after about 3 years, you can consider trading in the vehicle on year 3. Now, let's talk about a couple caveats here that I forgot to mention. I forgot to type in here. And that is the fact that a lot of people right now are doing a lot of gig work, which is fine. But when you're doing a lot of gig work, and I'll explain like what that means, essentially when you're looking for extra income, side hustles, it's so many names that we got for these things now. But if that side hustle includes you driving, that's going to affect the value. Okay. That was actually the first video that we had. I guess that went viral. This was years ago. But, and I talked about how driving for Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Amazon, whatever, is going to affect how the value of your vehicle. Essentially, you're going to be bringing down the value of the vehicle faster. You guys know this because, of course, you're adding more mileage to it, right? So that's just, we just common sense. But a lot of people didn't know that they were doing this. I had a client where back in my dealership days, I sold him a car. He was working at his job full time. He lost his job, started doing Uber full time, racked up a lot of miles on his car because the car is the job. The car needed work and it needed so much work. It was like, man, what can I do? His credit score went down though. And that story inspired me to make that video. And again, you have to make sure you're in position for when these things happen, even if you are not driving for Uber or Lyft or something like that. So keep that in mind as well. Next is going to be another example is if you had a higher rate or bad credit when you got the original loan. Okay. So let's talk about that. So now if you have the, let's say, for example, you got an auto loan and we're talking, let's say, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever time frame that was, but your scores were not the best. They were under 600, under 500, under 400, right? Some of you all are like, man, it can go that low. Yes, it can. But either way, when you have the scores around that amount, you're just getting whatever you can get. So the difference is you want to put yourself in a position where your scores are higher, or in this case, over time, you can just just normally just pay your car note. And then when you're doing that, your credit score is going to increase over time. Okay. So again, if you got an auto loan last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you need to be reconsidering either refinancing or trading in. You do not, I repeat, you do not have to keep paying the same amount. You could keep the car, guys. No one's telling you, obviously, trading in, you wouldn't be able to keep the car, but no one's telling you that just because you got the car and you want to keep it till the wheels fall off, you want to pay that car off, you most definitely can do that. But you have to keep in mind that you don't have the best terms and you have to structure those terms. Banks are not going to call you to say, hey, let's go and get you some good terms. Everyone's not going to do that. All right. Now let's go to the next piece. Now, these are some examples here, guys, of clients that we've helped. Because I know a lot of people always say, well, man, you could do this. You could do this. Listen, not only can you do it, we help people do this all the time. Look, I'm gonna show you an example here. Check this out. There's a client right here. He lowered his car payment by $245. He was paying $598 to $353 a month. Okay, let me do the math real quick because I know y'all know this. But $245 times 12, he's saving $2,900 a year. Guys, that's a trip. Come on now. That's where that could be money going into your retirement. Next, another person, she says, car refinance approved. I'll be saving almost $100 a month. $100 a month she's saving. That's $1,200 a year. It's another client. She went from $253 to $217. Look, $253 minus $217, that's $36 times 12. She's saving $432. That's a plane ticket just by lowering her car payment. Remember, it's not about how much you're making. It's not about how much you make. It's about how much you keep. Again, it's not about how much you make. Listen, you could be making 50,000, you make 100,000, you make $1 million. It's not about how much you're making. It's about how much are you keeping in your pocket. What's your net number? We don't talk about that enough. Okay, let's keep going. Number 3, using a personal loan to pay off your auto loan. Using a personal loan to pay off your auto loan. That's huge. So if you're not able to get approved for a refinance loan due to, let's say, years on the vehicle or miles, another option, another route that you can go is essentially getting a personal loan. Now, there's a lot of personal loan options out there. Upstart does personal loans as well, too. The company I told you guys about earlier. You can get a personal loan wherever you want to go. That's up to you. But essentially, there may be a situation where your car is too old, or the numbers just don't work out, or it's too many miles. But you're like, I don't know if I want to trade it in. I want to keep it. That's where a personal loan can come in at. You use a personal loan to pay off that vehicle. Now, this means that you get a personal loan with better terms, okay, or good terms. It's up to you. And then use that money to pay off the existing loan. But you got to be careful doing this. Why should you be careful? Let me show you. Now, if you go this route, some people have messed up. They got the loan and they never paid off the car, because the difference is with the refinance, obviously, they assume you have the car. So they send the money to the bank that you owe the money with. And they confirm that by looking at your credit report and confirming that this is who we're going to send the money to. And you have to get them a payoff. A payoff, typically a 10-day payoff. That's where you call the bank and say, hey, how much do I owe you all to the penny? And they get that to you, and then you get that to the bank, and that confirms how much you owe. In this case, you keep the collateral because it's a personal loan, because they don't know what you're going to do with it. Okay. Now you can also check this out. You can also use the personal loan to consolidate all of your debts. It's another hack. This is debt consolidation. You don't need to talk to an attorney to do debt consolidation. You don't need to talk to a bankruptcy specialist to do debt consolidation. You can use a personal loan to pay off the vehicle, credit cards. You can use that to settle some collections. It's a lot of things you could do. Let me give an example. You owe $12,000 on your car, but you get approved for a $15,000 loan. We paying off this car. We paying off these credit cards. We about to settle a collection. so it can get removed, pay for delete. We'll talk about that for another video. Okay. But those are the options that you guys have there. All right. Oh, wait, hold on. It's asking me to do something here. Let me move this back. All right, cool. Now let's go next. Now, these are some personal loan options I have for you here. Okay, so here I'm going to put these inside the chat so you guys know. And one is with Upstart, and the other one is with Upgrade. No relation. One is Upstart, one is Upgrade. No relation. And what I love about these companies is that they're soft pools. Okay, a soft pool means that you can apply and there's no effect on your credit report, so you can see the terms. Why do I say it like that? Because watch where I'm going. Once you see the terms and you decide to move forward, then they will do the hard pull to confirm what they saw on the soft pull. Why does that matter? Because if you go to Chase Bank, guess what? You got to walk inside of Chase Bank. You got to chit chat for the time being. You got to fill out the application, or you can do it online. You go to all these banks and go online. Not everyone's doing soft pulls. Now you're getting a hard pull from Chase Bank, a hard pull from Bank of America, a hard pull from your credit union. Okay. Now, if that's how you want to do it, then you can do that. I don't recommend it. So again, consider going soft pulls, guys. All right. Now let's keep going. Number 4, this is for leases only. For leases only. If you're leasing your vehicle, you can turn your lease into a purchase. Do you know how many people don't know they could do this? This is why I'm here. So let's check this out. So now this is similar to a refinance, but with a lease, you are essentially buying out your lease. Okay. A lot of people do this, and a lot of people have done this recently when auto loans were at really high interest rates in like the last 12 to 18 months. People, they still had leases. Those leases were coming to an end. And they're like, man, I don't want to lose, my good rate. So how can I keep a good rate? They turn those leases into purchases. And you've already built the relationship with the bank that you have the lease with. So, of course, they're going to approve it. You still got to qualify, though. Right. But either way, we had a client go from $1,600 a month, $1,600 a month to $940 just by turning their lease into a purchase. Now, how soon can you do this? This is not a refinance. Technically, you're buying out your lease. A refinance is where you're just restructuring the loan and you're essentially you're getting better terms. In this case, you are jumping out of the lease without giving the car back. And then you just turn that lease into a purchase. Okay. Now, minimum credit scores you'll need to do a lot of this stuff. 620s, 640s. The higher the score, the better the approvals are going to be, the better the terms are going to be. Right. The easier the loan process is going to be as well. Now, I know some of you all are thinking, well, Calvin, how can I qualify for any of this? My score is not there, because you will need the credit score. You will need the credit profile. You will need the income, and your car must qualify. Now, as a reminder, we can help you. This is it's time to stop guessing and doing just random stuff to do with your credit score. Here's why. We offer a custom game plan. Now, this game plan is where we look at your credit report. We tell you exactly what you need to do to accomplish your credit goals. We've been helping people with their credit goals, man, since 2012, even before the YouTube channel. From homeowners to car buyers to landlords, doesn't matter. And check this out. This Thursday, just so you all know, we only have about, I think, you know what? I don't want to hold you all too long, but we only got about, let me see here. There's only 4 seats left. There's 4 seats left. Okay. Now we've increased the number as well, too, of how many people we can let in on Thursday. On Thursday, we're doing a game plan Q&A call. This is a private game plan strategy session. Okay. This is where you're going to bring your game plan. Okay. And I'm going to answer any questions that you have as it pertains to your game plan. So and just so you know, to get the game plan, we ask you for your goal. Is your goal home ownership? Is your goal to increase your credit score? Do you want to lower your car payment? Do you want a high limit credit card? So to get a game plan, you can scan the QR code right here on your screen, or you can text the word plan to the number that's right there in front of you, 708-346-5613. Or you can also click on this link. I'm going to put this inside the chat here. Now, I know what you all are thinking. Well, Calvin, here we go. You say I need a game plan. Here, let me tell you what happens when you get a game plan. You could be like one of our clients who needed a car. Her credit score wasn't the best. She'll tell you. My score, she'll say, listen, my credit wasn't the best. Car got totaled. What happens then? In her game plan, that was one of her goals. She qualified for a certain type of car at a certain interest rate, didn't even know it. Got an amazing interest rate. She didn't even know she qualified. But we told her that's exactly what she needed to do, answered her questions, because I don't know what other route she thought she was gonna have to go. Probably just keep renting cars until she thought she had to get a certain score. She didn't even know she qualified. What else happens when you get a game plan? Well, your credit score can go up. Her credit score, there's another client of ours. Her credit score went up 386 points in less than 90 days. She was in the low 600s. She's now in the mid 7s. She wants to buy another property. She's in position. We got another client. Not long ago, circumstances put him in a position where he ended up homeless. He bounced back from being homeless, not just getting an apartment. He ended up he just got his pre-approval for a house. Okay? He can get a house, he can get a condo, he can get a townhouse. He has options. Y'all know, listen, we're not knocking renting. If you want to rent, do your thing. You want to buy, do your thing. But let me tell you something, and this is for my renters that know this for a fact. For a fact, you can ask yourself this. The landlord chose you, and not in a bad way. When you're looking to go into an apartment, then the landlord has to say yes to you. They gotta like you. They gotta like how you look. They gotta like how you smell. They gotta like how your kids act. They gotta like the car you pull up in. They gotta like where you working. They gotta like your boyfriend, your guys. They gotta like your wife. People don't accept applications of people they don't like. They gotta like you. You know what I mean? They gotta approve you. Let somebody get out the car smelling like weed. Weed is legal. Somebody might not like it. You know what I'm talking about? That's just either way. He says, listen, I don't want to have to go through that anymore. Purchase. He now is in position. Then you get some people. These are my real bougie clients. No, I'm just kidding. But you get some people that's like, listen, I want everything. I want to increase my credit score. I want to get the car. I want to lower my car payment. I want to get the home. I want to get the high limit credit card. I'm going to let you guys read what he said. He says, listen, thank you, Calvin, in the 850 Club. Okay. I've been quiet in here lately, and what it was, he was going through the whole home buying process. Listen, he got a $6,000 credit limit increase on his Navy Federal credit cards at $16,000. His secured credit card went from secured to unsecured with a $2,000 limit. He was able to lease a brand new 2025 Hyundai electric vehicle. This was, by the way, guys, this was last year. And now he's paying $242 a month. Listen, find 10 people in your phone right now with a $200 anything car payment. Look at that. 0 down, 10,000 miles a year. The dealer said you have tier 1 credit. So either way, this is his house. Listen, I remember talking to him not long ago. And he was like, Calvin, listen. This is what he said. He said, Calvin, listen, my wife and I, we want to buy a home, but we're thinking about like 2 years from now, maybe a year from now. I was like, no, you'll be in position in about 3 months. He was like, no, man, ain't no way. There's no way that you can just give me a strategy and it'll work for me, and I'm going to be in position to buy property. Like, people typically have to wait years. Yeah, if you got the wrong information. If you don't know what you're doing, if you just throwing jello on the wall, you just watch some random YouTube videos. Nah, man, you need a strategy. We knocked that goal out easy. Look, in Colorado, I'm telling you, our strategy works anywhere nationwide. I'm just letting you know. Shout out to Antoine. But either way, guys, again, we have the call on Thursday. Okay. There's only 4 seats left. Text the word plan to 708-346-5613 or scan the QR code. Click the link inside the chat. Appreciate you all being with me. Hope this information was good. And we'll see you all in the next.